Gluten Tag, guys. In today's video, we'll talk about tracking calories. My name is Alex and I'm the bro. First up, I want to say that tracking calories is no diet. It's just a tool to help you. To help you know how much you eat, to help you know how much you expend, and also to help you educate yourself about nutrition. It's pretty obvious that tracking calories helps you know how much you eat. And that's important because most people drastically underestimate the calories they consume. If you track your weight at the same time, tracking calories can also help you know how much you expend. Because if you track calories during a time your weight stays around the same, you can be pretty sure that the calories you consumed were also the calories you expended. I know there are also websites out there where you can calculate your calorie expenditure by putting in your height, your weight, and your activity level. But usually that tends to be pretty inaccurate. And tracking calories helps educate ourselves. Most people have no idea how many calories, how much protein, how much fat is in a certain food. And if you track calories, you will get a much better feel at how much macros and calories are in what food group. And the intuition you gain from that will also stay with you even if you stop tracking calories. If you have problems with losing or gaining weight, or you're just curious, then why not try tracking calories? If you do, I would advise to try 1 or 2 weeks of tracking without changing what you eat, so that you can find out how much you normally eat. Also, if you try tracking calories for the first time, it will be a challenge on its own. And if you also change your eating habits, that might be a problem. Depending on your goals, after this 1 or 2 weeks of tracking calories while at maintenance, you have different options to choose from. Maybe you gain some insight already and know what to eat less or what to eat more, and you don't need tracking calories anymore. But if you want to stick with tracking calories and increase or decrease them, you know where to start from. Let's say you tracked calories for 10 days and your weight stayed around the same, and on average you consumed 2000 calories. Now, depending on if you want to lose or gain weight, you can or increase this by around 500 calories. I don't recommend more than a 500 calorie deficit, and if you want to gain weight, maybe even less, so maybe just 300 calories more than usually. If you like tracking calories, but it was just too much of a time commitment, you can also try just tracking certain foods. For example, I usually don't track my food nowadays, but pasta, rice, or oil I usually still weigh. Just because it's really easy to cook more rice or pasta than you actually need, and because I tend to put much more oil in the pan than I really need. Before we get into how to track calories, I just want to mention that tracking calories certainly is not something that you should do forever. But it makes sense at certain times, and the insight you get from tracking calories will help you even if you don't track calories anymore. Now, how do we track calories? Most people that track calories probably just download an app like MyFitnessPal and eat something, just search it on the app and put it in. But this can be wildly inaccurate because one portion of a meal can have much more or much less calories, depending on how it's prepared and how large it is. So if you track calories, track them precisely, because inaccurately tracking your calories is as good as not tracking them at all. During this 1 week where you try to accurately track your calories, I would advise you not to go out eating, and also, if it's possible, to cook just for yourself, even if you usually eat with your family. Because if you eat at the restaurant, you can never be sure how much calories truly are in what meal. And also, if you share your meal with another person, you can never be sure how much you ate and how much they ate. But in the first week, apart from not going out to eat and cooking everything for yourself, try to eat just like you would normally, so that you can know how much you usually eat. I know it's a lot to ask for, but I think it's doable for just 1 week. So when you're tracking now, really make sure to track everything. Not just your main meals, but also your snacks, everything you drink that is not water or black coffee. And also if you're cooking, make sure to track oil and butter and stuff like this. And you track it by weighing every food or ingredient you put in your meals beforehand. Most of the ingredients/food you will probably just put in a bowl and weigh this way. But for things like oil or milk or sauces, this is very inconvenient. So my tip is just put the bottle on the scale, press tear, pour out whatever you need and put the bottle back on the scale. And the amount you poured out will now appear on a negative number on the scale. And then you can put it in an app like MyFitnessPal to track your calories. Most of these apps also have a barcode scanner that make tracking the food much easier. One thing you should keep in mind is to always weigh the food in the same state it is on the label. An example would be weighing your rice when it's already cooked. But on the label, the calories for the rice are usually in its uncooked state. So if you weigh your rice cooked, there will be a big calorie discrepancy. If you're using an app to track your calories, also make sure to sometimes compare what calories it says in the app to what calories it says on the label, because sometimes the entries in the fitness app might not be correct. A good tip to make tracking calories a little less time consuming is to cook bigger meals. So don't cook for every meal on its own, but cook something bigger and eat it 1, 2 or maybe even 3 times. Because at the end of the day, if everything you tracked, you ate, it does not really matter all that much when you ate it. Now, before we end the video, a quick summary of the most important points. First up, tracking calories is not something to do forever, and it's no mystery diet. It's just a tool to help you. And the most important thing it helps you with is education concerning nutrition and concerning food. So that you can get a better feel at how much protein, fats, carbohydrates and calories are in what food group. And the most important thing when tracking calories is to track everything and to track it as precisely as you can. That was all I wanted to say about tracking calories for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, please leave me a like and subscribe. Also write some comments, it helps the algorithm. You're also very welcome to leave me some criticism down in the comments. This was Fed, thanks for watching. Most of your food, most of your food, and different sauces did this is a little. Siri, can you recommend the restaurant? So if you weigh your rice cooked, there will be a big calorie discrepancy. Calorie discrepancy? I'm not even sure if that's the right word, but we'll take it.